Hi, I'm Yannick Hanfman.
I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudla.
This is Sebastian Olfner.
It's Marc-Andrea Whistler.
I am Francisco Cerundolo.
And you're listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Hopefully you enjoy it.
Hopefully. Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. The grass court swing is definitely underway, and we've had some great tournaments this week. We've had Jannik Sinner get into his first grass court final. Lorenzo Musetti also repping the Italian flag on the grass. And there's been a few players who are looking in a bit of trouble coming into Wimbledon. And a few retirements. Is Djokovic going to play? We're here to discuss all of these on this episode.
Yeah, that's right, Ben. And we're going live for a change. Thank you, everyone who's joined us for this one live. I know it was a little last minute. This is what we used to do all the time on Game to Love. We've sort of moved away in the last year or so. But I think we should do it from time to time. And this is a good one to do because I feel like it's even easier just to freestyle it. The reason being, I've not watched as much tennis as I usually would. And I think it's because after Roland Garros, that little period between that and Wimbledon, it takes its toll on me. Because from the start of the year up until Roland Garros, it's so action-packed and busy. We have so many big Masters events, all the Monte Carlos, the Romes, Madrids, and then Roland Garros. I feel like I need a breather. But usually my breather's not as long as it's been this time. And the reason being is because we've had the Euros on as well. So that's happening with the football. There's so much sport happening. However, I would be lying if I said I've not watched any tennis at all because it's hard to avoid it when you've got big players playing like Draper versus Alcaraz. And they were showing that on terrestrial TV in the UK the other day. It was on BBC Two. Draper was incredible. Beating Alcaraz. He then went out later on, but he's looking really good on the grass. I was also encouraged to see one of my other favourite players, Christopher Eubanks, back on the grass courts. He's great on grass. He's playing okay. I know he lost at some stage, was it against Zhang, but still good that he's playing okay. Struff's still looking dangerous. Sinner now shown that he can play on the grass. And that's really my assessment. I've not watched so much of the women's, but it seems to be riddled with injuries.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a funny one on the women's side. I haven't caught as much of the women's tennis, I have to say. I have caught a lot of Queens. Obviously, Lorenzo Musetti. I mean, what a brilliant performance. I mean, where everyone's talking about Jannik Sinner and how well he's been doing over in Halle. But, I mean, it's just been a revolutionary week for Musetti on the grass courts. I think ever since he's become a parent, we've seen a different style of Lorenzo Musetti. And I think that the way he's been playing at Queens this week, it's inspired stuff. Jordan Thompson as well. He had a really good week. May I ask
how that has any relation to him being a parent? Or are you just tying the two together?
I'm just saying he has been a much more composed player. He's mentally stronger. And you see this with a lot of sportsmen and women. They're fighting for something a little bit extra on a tennis court. He used to give up, remember, Lorenzo Musetti, in a few matches. You don't see that side of him anymore. And I think that we've seen it in a few recent tournaments, and now we're seeing him in a grass court final. And imagine we could have Jannik Sinner and Lorenzo Musetti both winning grass court events come the end of tomorrow. I mean, two Italians going into Wimbledon looking pretty strong on the grass.
Yeah, and Italian tennis is flourishing. It really is. I think Sinner has a good shot of Wimbledon. A lot of that's going to be depending if the big man's there. The guy who wins it more than anyone else. Him and Federer right at the top. Federer's retired. He's brought out a documentary. Something else what's happened. I've not caught it yet, but I know. Did you watch it all? Did you finish it?
Yeah, I've watched it all last night.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we'll do a separate video on it as well, to be honest, because it's it's a touching documentary of behind the scenes of the last 12 days before his retirement. And yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, we'll save your thoughts on that because I've not watched it. But I saw some of the love coming from. I saw some of the clips actually just on social media. You know, the one with him in his pants walking around.
Yes, it's a good one. That
seems to be doing the motions. We've got a few people in the live chat. How we doing, Jack? We've got Rodrigo, one of our members, and Sabalenka, Vondrausova, Ons, and Rybakina all play for the ladies and make second week of Wimbledon. Murray, Novak play in the men's. Simply, these guys are at their twilight. Novak footage shows moving okay. Yeah, we're going to get on to Novak. We've got Sandra in, Kathy. And I've said all the rest. But thanks for joining us, guys. And let's move on to Novak Djokovic, because it is the title of the video. People want to know, is he going to be playing? What do you think? Because from the videos we're seeing, it's looking encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, I've completely sort of changed my tune on the whole thing. I know that you keep on telling me, I think he might play, but I was completely against it. I thought there's no way that Novak Djokovic will risk getting more injured before the Olympics just to play Wimbledon. But then all of these things I keep hearing, these whispers through the grapevine, are that he's recovering so quickly, and now he's back on a tennis court already hitting a ball around. So I mean, there's not long until Wimbledon. I mean, it's just over a week. Is that enough time for him to compete in the first round and be competitive come, say, the second week, should he get to that, against the likes of the top players? Because surely you're only going to enter if you think you've got a shot of winning the tournament. That's what I think.
Djokovic is gonna enter Wimbledon. I keep saying it to you off stream.
Wow.
I understand why it looked so unlikely. I was initially thinking there's no way he's going to come back from surgery and be able to play. The more I found out about this surgery, the more I'm encouraged that he'll be able to. I think after a few days straight after, he was there in the gym doing some light exercises on it. But no, that's not. They're apparently from some of the sources I was reading online, big Djokovic fans. They were saying that that's what the doctors advise you have to do, because otherwise it gets stiff and it can slow down the recovery. So it's important to get moving pretty quickly. He's going to be playing Wimbledon. I really do believe he's going to make it. And if he does, he's got a shot for sure.
Well, the one big thing that it's such a crazy narrative coming into the tournament as well, because Alcaraz losing to Jack Draper has pushed him now down the rankings to 3, and Djokovic moves back to number 2. So Djokovic would be a number 2 seed coming into Wimbledon. Yeah. And then it's all that big conundrum. Where does Alcaraz fall in the draw? Does he fall on the Djokovic side or the Sinner side again? So you've got this crazy narrative, if Djokovic actually plays it, where Sinner's going to be praying that I don't want him on my side. I'm number 1 for my first slam. I don't want Carlos Alcaraz on my side of the draw. Sling him over there on Djokovic's side, please.
Yeah, and I'm sure he will be happy to have a Djokovic. But it's not going to happen now, because Djokovic, despite his previous history at Wimbledon and how good he plays on grass, surely he's not going to be able to compete with Alcaraz and Sinner again. I just feel even at Roland Garros, before the injury happened, I didn't think he necessarily had a high level. He's not won a tournament all year. We're in June,
True.
Almost July. And it's not been a great Djokovic season. So with these injuries on top of that, I don't know if he's really going to be able to beat them big guys. I think he's got enough with his just base level, if he's not playing his best, to still get far in the tournament. That's why it is exciting for him to be there. And you never know, maybe a Sinner goes out to like a Greek Spore, a Eubanks who's in form, who's playing well on the grass, Dimonor, that kind of calibre of player. And that would obviously, I think, help Djokovic, because he will sweep up with all of them players. Just the big names, I feel, will be too much for Djokovic at Wimbledon.
I think it's a super dangerous...
And that includes Zverev in there, of the big names. I think he won't be able to handle him.
I think it's super dangerous for Djokovic to play this Wimbledon. That's my personal opinion. You know, in the first week how slippery some of the courts are.
Yeah, it's true.
That's one of my big concerns. And Djokovic, remember we had it. I think that they allow them now to play some practice matches on centre just so that they can, avoid being slippery.
Yeah, that's why it looks a bit run down on day one of Wimbledon. It's not so green as usual on centre court because we've seen incidents with Serena. That was quite a famous one, and Djokovic a few times. Always slipping on that day one, so they wear it in a little bit now.
Yeah, so that's my big worry for him. If he does play, he's going to have to watch where he's running around, and that knee. I mean, God forbid, you see him fall over. It's going to be one of those heart in mouth moments if you see Djokovic go down. If he does play, let's say.
But for you, he's playing or not? If you had to make a judgment call,
I'm going to stick with. I don't think he will.
Okay, I think he will play now. He is going to be. We'll read the tweet. I don't think we even did it. He's going to be travelling to Wimbledon on Monday. Yep. He's not sure if he's fit to play. He's going to be down there. I've seen him. I think he was hitting the other day on a court. I've seen a few videos circulating. Seems to be moving okay. I think he's going to be there. Let's move on to the next one.
Well, he will not be playing the doubles in the Paris Olympics, but instead will focus on just the singles, which I think is a great idea.
Should have done it in Tokyo. I mean, it didn't help him, did it, playing them doubles? And then did he pull out in the end and had a bit of a bust up with his... I forget the name now. Who is it he was playing with in the mixed doubles?
Who was he playing with in the mixed doubles? Wasn't Danilovic, was it?
I keep thinking Danilovic in my head, but I can't
remember.
I think it might be. Yeah.
I think, but that was a terrible thing. I mean, just avoid it altogether. Go for the singles, and that's it. I think, for me, I don't think he even needs to play Wimbledon, but he always has that. I think that Roger documentary coming out is going to inspire him to maybe play Wimbledon. That's my big worry. He wants to catch Roger's Wimbledon record, and I don't blame him, but... Yeah, the years are numbered, really. So how many... He's
running out of opportunities with these new players coming through as well. They're looking fearless. That's the best way to put it. They've always been good, but before they used to be weak mentally, and the sister passes, couldn't handle it in the finals. Medvedev was able to here and there. Zverev never could. But this new breed with the Sinners and Alcaraz, they can. They're fearless when it comes to the big names.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about Yannick Sinner. He's obviously through to a final. We were just speaking about that. It's in Halle. It's against his doubles partner that he's been playing in Halle with, who got to the quarterfinals with him. They went out in a dramatic quarterfinal matchup. But, Hubie Hurkacz and Yannick Sinner, they face each other. Who do you reckon's going to win that one? It's going to be quite close, I think.
Well, I'm going to go back to 2021 when they played in Miami in the Masters final. They were a doubles pair in there, and that was 3 years ago now. Yeah. And it was the first time, I think we saw Sinner in a final, or a big final at that. Same with Hurkacz. Masters, it wasn't something we was expecting at the Masters stage. They both got there. There was big names in that tournament, of course, being Miami. And Hurkacz beat him 7-6, 6-4. So that's how it started. Since then, we've seen what's happened to Sinner. He's become an absolute beast. They played most recently at Monte Carlo, and that was last year, and that was before the peak of Sinner. So Hurkacz has not seen peak Yannick Sinner. Despite that, I think Hurkacz is at his career high at the moment. He's definitely an extremely good grass court player. We know he's always played very well on the hard courts in America. I think he's just as good at grass. Remember Federer's last match, he bageled him.
Yes.
It's going to be a tight one. And these two players have serious, serious chances to win Wimbledon. Hurkacz, do not dismiss him. I remember watching him, was it last year? I think it was last year. We watched it together. Was it semi-final against Djokovic or quarter-final against Djokovic? There was a few tie breaks. It was really close. Hurkacz was so good, man, on that day. And it was the finest of margins on how Djokovic beat him.
Well, this is what I've gone for anyway.
It's just with his serve, it's like if a little bit's off, he can maybe get broken. But apart from that, the way he plays is so formidable. He is, for me, a more advanced Matteo Berrettini.
Yeah.
He's a level up to Berrettini on the
The
grass.
volleying, I mean, is way above Berrettini for me. I mean,
At the backhand as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You
When he
compare,
comes to-
and his serve is not that much off. Maybe Berrettini's is slightly more powerful, but her catch is a beast. And on the grass, he is, for me, certainly top 5 to win. You could make a case for top 3, just behind Alcaraz and Sinner.
not dropped a set this week in Halle. He's beaten Kaboli, Duckworth, Giron, and Zverev, all in straight
Very
sets.
good. Yeah, he's really good on the grass.
Yannick Sinner, he's beaten Griekspoor in 3, Malazan in 3, Struff in 3, and then Zhang in straight sets.
Well, Sinner's been struggling in tie breaks, and that's never a good sign when you start losing tie breaks. However, he's turned that around now, and he's starting to win some tie breaks, so that's good. Hopefully, that will do him well, because there's a good chance of there being a tie break. On the grass, I feel like they're more common. They're certainly very common with Hubie Hurkacz when you're on the grass. It wouldn't surprise me if we see a tie break or 2 in this one. Is he going to be on the right side? He's turned the corner slightly. And I'm going to be going for the Sinner win, but I think it will probably be in a 3rd set tie break. That's how close it's going to be.
Well, without knowing it, you've given the exact same prediction as me, which is great. That goes to show
Amazing.
great minds. I've gone first set, a tie break for Hubie, and then Sinner to win in 3 with a tie break in the 3rd.
Brilliant.
So there you go. Look, we haven't discussed that beforehand.
No, we haven't.
That goes to show we're on the same wavelength, which is a great thing. I think the way Sinner's been playing, I don't think you can look too much into the 3 setters, other than it's his first grass court tournament of the year, and then he's just growing into it. And I think that he's showing a lot of resolve to just get matches done and dusted in the final set. So I'm not worried about the fact he's gone to 3. And I think it will go to 3, and I think he will show he's world number 1, and that's why I think he'll win this match.
Yep.
But yeah, moving away from the men and moving on to some of the women and some of the problems that we've got on the women's tour with, unfortunately, a lot of retirements. We've had Rybakina retiring with an illness.
Since this illness, though, I have seen it's been released that there's some abdominal pain as well with Rybakina.
Okay, so
I'm not sure if it's just purely illness. It seems to be some kind of an abdominal issue.
Yeah, they said that she looked like she was going to faint on the court, so I don't know how related to it was. Some people sometimes struggle with the heat. I think with Jabeur, it was a bit more like that, to be honest.
But let's pause on just Rybakina
Yeah.
being ill and injured, because it seems to have... It happens very, very frequently.
Yeah.
Like more than most players. It's worrying. It's because she is simply one of the best players in the world, and because of this constant start-stop, it's going to really hinder her career. It's going to really stop her getting some kind of momentum going. And I feel like the moment she gets like really good and on a good run, she gets ill or injured again, where she can't play. You remember, she won Wimbledon a few years ago. She's brilliant on the grass. She's probably the favourite, I would say, for this tournament if she's fully fit. I'll put her above a Sabalenka marginally. But because of all of these injuries and issues, I think her whole career could be one of them ones, what could have been. It could be a could have been career, because she's won a slam, but I think maybe, are we going to see her win another slam? Maybe not, if she's not consistent. She's not going to get better if she's not playing week in, week out. And I'm not blaming her at all, but something's not quite right with her body, or something's not happening. The stars are not aligning for her. I don't know the details, so I can't comment. But it's really tough. It is.
Yeah, it's a sad one as
well.
well.
A lot of retirements as well, like mid-match. So it's like she thinks she's going to be okay. It's not like she's just not going to be... You never see her just off the tour for a few months. She gives it a go, but just not quite up to it, and just retires.
Yeah, it's not a good sign as well to see Ons Jabeur also suffering with... I'm hoping it's just a moment, like a bug or something that she's suffering with. I mean, she seemed to be like struggling with the heat, and I think sometimes she does. I've seen her throw up at Wimbledon, maybe nerves, maybe heat, maybe combination. But yeah, it's a bit of a worry, because these are two of the best grass court players out there. Jabeur in last year's final. We've got, obviously, Rybakina has won it before. Sabalenka, just got to speak about her. She's actually got an proper injury. It's a shoulder injury. This is terrible, like leading into Wimbledon. Sabalenka was the one I was going to pick to win Wimbledon. Right now, I don't know if that's realistic, to be honest.
Did you know that Sabalenka's never won a grass court title?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I mean,
so that could surprise a few people. She was asked about it, I believe, before her match, and she was like, "Oh, you give me a compliment, and then you're like, you've never won a grass court tournament," and making a big joke out of it. I think that was after beating Kasatkina. But yeah, she's, as much as we're saying how she's a big favourite, or she would have been, maybe if she wasn't so injured, she's never won a grass title, or a title on grass.
Does it open the door now for Coco Gauff and Iga to come to the forefront? I would say that they would have been my favourites coming into.
Well, Iga must be looking at this news, rubbing her hands together. I don't think we've gone down, have we, to the others? So we've got Jabeur as the last one, retired with illness.
Yeah, I think it's just a bug, though. I don't think it's any sort of injury. I think it's just a sickness, which hopefully it's just something stomach related, and she's just going to be fine in a week. I think she'll be okay for Wimbledon, the Jabeur one. So. Okay. The one that does worry me is the reigning champion, though. I don't know how she's going to be, and that's Marketa Vondrausova. She slipped on the grass against Kalinskaya, and it looked pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. This was what she looked like when she actually did the splits. She didn't mean to do the splits, and then she was grabbing her leg, had to retire instantly. I mean, it's terrible.
That's not good. Terrible timing as well, trying to defend a title at Wimbledon.
Awful
so
time.
Yeah, it's an open field. Iga will be rubbing her hands together looking at this, because despite her not being good on grass, surely if a lot of these players are struggling physically and they go out, then she's got a good chance. Gauff, another one who I think should do very well here. She's got to. It'd be disappointed if she doesn't make semis, if not final.
What about, I mean, people are going to be jumping in the chat and the comments, because Gauff's actually had a match interrupted. She's in the semi-final of Berlin at the moment. She's playing Pegula. She's actually down a set and down a mini break in the second set tie break. So it looks like she could lose to Pegula. Is Pegula
not seen enough of her this year? I don't know where she's been.
I know.
So, and I've not watched her either recently, so I don't want to make a comment on it. But usually, from my experience with Pegula, I don't think she's going to do it in a big tournament. And I've got a stat for you as well. Do you want to hear it? It's about Sabalenka.
Yeah. Okay.
You might have heard it, but she's never, ever retired from a match mid-match until today.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is a crazy stat. Yeah. Well, that is sad for her as well.
So she's not someone who just throws the towel in, so it must have been pretty bad.
Definitely. And plus, she knows there's a Grand Slam on the horizon, so there's no point trying to play through an injury right now. Let it heal. We saw what happened.
Yeah, Kathy's just saying she's been injured. Yeah, that's right. Pegula not been there, but I've not watched her since she's come back to know that she can be a contender. I'm just basing it off history. She's not a big tournament player.
Well, we've seen how well it's worked for people taking some time off before the Slam, and we saw Alcaraz and Sinner, how well they performed at Roland Garros after giving their body a rest. Maybe Sabalenka will benefit as well. But talking about Yannick Sinner, there's somebody else getting into a grass court final on the women's, and it just seems she's inspired a little bit, maybe from Yannick Sinner, and it's Anna Kalinskaya, the new flame of Yannick Sinner. How crazy is this? We've had Alex de Minaur and Katie Boulter both winning grass court tournaments in the same weekend. Are we going to get the same this weekend? And is it just the power couples coming through in tennis right now?
I think it's safe to say this is, on paper, the best power couple, though. I don't want to hear about Badoza Tsitsipas or Boulter de Minaur. Kalinskaya, Yannick Sinner, but world number one. I mean, these two are complete ballers. If you compare the two, it's like looking at Zuckerberg and Elon Musk.
I like it. I like it. Zuckerberg and Musk. Yeah,
I should have said a woman, like Kathy Woods, sorry.
Oh, brilliant stuff. Well, you've got to remember that Kalinskaya, she made the she made the quarterfinals of the Australian Open earlier this year. So she's having a fantastic year. And this like coupled together with being in a couple with Yannick Sinner, this year is just getting better and better for Kalinskaya, surely. I mean, if they go on and win this event, is she now in the hat for maybe challenging at Wimbledon?
Do you think Yannick Sinner's punching, Ben?
I don't know. I think they're both on a level. I think that they're both doing all right for themselves.
Yeah, okay.
Why do you
Big
think?
Sinner fan. I think he is slightly. I mean, Kalinskaya is a bit of like a...
It's the world number one.
I know, but...
You've got to take that into the equation. It's a power.
I think if he wasn't world number one, people would look at them and think,
Ooh.
why is he with her?
He's
But
outside the top 10. Do you reckon he's not allowed? It's the dynamic change.
I don't know. I'll let people decide in the comment section. I'm a big fan of both. And, of course, Yannick Sinner is someone who I want to keep doing well. So I'm not going to say anything nasty about him.
Yeah, definitely. Tennis Weekly put out this one just to run through. There's a few other people who retired as well from their matches. Dan Evans, Francis Tiafoe, Andy Murray, and Katie Boulter. So the whole week of retirements before Wimbledon is just terrible.
Yeah, I think the Murray one's the worst out of all of them. It seems to me it's career ending. He's having another surgery this time, I think, for the back. I think it's done. I just don't see him. It's finished now. Obviously, he'll do it on his own terms. He always gets asked about retirement, but I don't think we can wheel him out anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting to that point, isn't it?
I mean, next time he plays, I think Alfie Hewitt will be in trouble.
Terrible. That's it. I mean, if you go and watch the Roger documentary, it's like I feel like
I think we're going that way though, aren't we?
The writing was on the wall then when he was watching Roger retire, I think, and he's continued 2 years down the line after that. But before we move on, I put out a post earlier on just asking for a few questions from everybody in our community. So thanks to the people who did put a question. If you are just joining us on this live podcast, please make sure you have hit the like button on the video. It really helps the channel grow, and subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. Make sure to join us for all of the Wimbledon content, because it's going to be coming thick and fast over the next week, say 3 weeks probably, but the build up for the next week is going to be big. So stick with us.
Yeah, also give us some questions in the live chat now. It's great that we've got almost 100 people in. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and we'll answer some questions at the end for sure. But let's go on to your ones.
Right, okay, let's get on to these ones first, and then we'll have a little look. So thanks to the people who did ask. First up is Cameron Ransom, saying, thoughts on Iga not having a block of tournaments on grass before Wimbledon. Do you think she's prioritising the Olympics? That's an interesting one, actually.
I just don't think she's going to get any better playing on grass before. It's not really her surface. She didn't... I don't think she needs to play on it. I can understand her decision not to. And I think she's still got a really good shot of winning Wimbledon as well, to be honest.
She's a junior champion, so
yeah,
got to have some sort of chance. I think the draw is all important for her at Wimbledon. If she gets a nice draw, we don't say that very often for her. I don't think the draw normally matters too much for her, but I think at Wimbledon it really does. So if she gets a good draw, I don't think she's prioritising the Olympics. I just think, yeah, she just, I don't know, she just doesn't like grass that much, so she's just not playing one beforehand. That's it. Nothing more to say.
So next one we've got is Valde Stita 6212 saying, who are your top 4 favourites of Wimbledon ranked for the women and the men, excluding Novak? Ooh. So pretending Novak's not there. I can give you my men's ones off the top of my head because it's very easy. And that is Sinner, Alcaraz, Hurkacz and Zverev.
Oh, I was disappointed. I thought it was going to be Eubanks in there.
No.
But, that's a disappointment. I mean, for me, it goes without saying, really, the ones you said. So it's got to be Yannick Sinner and Alcaraz. They're definitely the top 2. I would go, yeah, I mean, it's got to be. I'm not. Who was your last one?
Hurkacz, Zverev.
I'll go Tommy Paul then because he's playing very well.
No chance.
And then I'll go with
Tommy Paul is your 4th best. You've lost your head.
What?
He's good, I know he's good. And he's soon to become the #1 American, overtaking Taylor Fritz.
There you go.
For me, Tommy Paul is not going to win Wimbledon, so he's not a top 4 contender.
Watch this space.
And you agree, he won't win it.
I'll throw Jack Draper in there, maybe. Who knows?
I'd rather Medvedev than him.
Yeah, Medi doesn't seem to do too much on the grass. He needs to step it up a little bit. On the women's side, I think it's a little bit more wide. Do you reckon Paolini might have a chance on there, or is she more of a clay court?
I don't give her a chance. No.
Sakari could be her year.
Well, give me your 4, and then I'll give you mine.
The one that I would love to see. And
I want to hear your love. We're going to answer the question. Then you're going to do your loves. Let's answer Valde's question first. Then we can do all of the things you love in the world, including me.
Iga, Coco. I'll go with Kalinskaya. And I'll throw in Danielle Collins then as my number 4.
That is generally your top 4.
Yeah, go on.
It's not an April Fool's joke, no?
No, I've got all the injured ones out. Get them all out.
Okay, so this is the correct top 4. And that is Rybakina, Coco Gauff, Iga, and King Wing-Jung.
People have been calling you out for this Kim Wing-Jung one from the last time you said it, and they're probably going to do it again.
I don't care. She's going to come good at Wimbledon. I have a weird feeling.
No, I don't think she did very well in the last tournament.
Well, let's wait and see. She's in my top 4.
All right, anyway, let's on to the next question. It's as good as Tommy Paul, that one, I think.
Yeah, I think it is. Probably worse.
Possibly, right. Think one wild card is still to be announced for the women. Who should get it?
Venus Williams.
Gail Falkenberg. That's my pick, honestly. If I could put anyone in the draw, it would be Gail Falkenberg.
No, who would you pick?
If you don't know who Gail Falkenberg is, go check out one of our other videos. The oldest tennis player on tour. If I could pick, would it be... I mean, I can't even think off the top of my head. Have to be...
Who's not got it? That's the question. Who are the wild cards?
That's a good point. Who are the wild cards for Wimbledon? Let's have a quick look.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll read the last one. So that's Daz Reynolds.
Go on,
should
then.
Murray play Wimbledon? No, I think if Djokovic can play, he should definitely play. I don't think I buy into what Ben's saying that he should just save himself for the Olympics. If he can play, definitely play. It's such a historic event, and it'll be sad to not see Djokovic play on the grass. Should Murray play? Probably not. No.
I don't know.
As much as I love the whole Murray thing, I think that the ship sailed now.
Yeah, I can't find all of these wild cards, mate.
Don't know how to do it, do you? All right, I'll do it then.
You do that. I'll answer this question, and then you go in there. He's a bit more well versed on the computers.
So I just typed in wild cards Wimbledon.
Is that how you do it?
Right,
should Murray play Wimbledon? Cards. I mean, this could be Murray's last Wimbledon if he does.
It was very easy, Ben. So it's Francesca Jones, Angelique Kerber, Lily Miyazaki, Naomi Osaka, Emma Raducanu, Heather Watson, Wozniacki, and then the last one's to be announced. On the men's, we have Liam Brody, Charles Broome, Jan Toinski, Jacob Fernley, Arthur Ferry, Billy Harris, Paul Jubb. So all British.
Wow.
There. And you've also got Henry Searle. I don't know if I said that one, but yeah, 8 British players for the men. Pretty crazy.
I mean, there's one I probably would put in because I think that she's worth her place. I don't know if you even said the name, which is Tomjanovic. I think she's really deserving of a spot in the draw. She's great on the grass.
Yeah, it's not a bad selection, that. It's either her or Maria Carla, but she'll probably get in anyway.
Is she winning Wimbledon or any others? Let's go to the live chat, see if there are any other questions in there.
We've got Kathy as a member for 29 months, which is amazing. Thank you so much, Kathy.
Cheers, Kathy.
And Jean as well. If you do want to join the membership, please become a member, and we'll read out all of your questions for sure. If you've got any questions, do let us know. Seems to not be many questions. Just Matthew's asking Raonic, does he have a protected ranking? So he's playing right. I don't think I've got the protected rankings on here.
I might be able to bring it up quickly. I think I know where to find that one.
No, based off seeing you last time, I think we'll give it a miss, Ben.
I think I'm quite good at this one. Let me just pull this one up. I actually put it on the screen. Right, so there we go. These are the Wimbledon ones. So you can see down there. We'll go down and we should be able to see who's got protected ranking, shouldn't we, down this list? Right. Okay.
Oh, you got your wild cards there as well. You could have said.
There you go. Yeah, it's only on the men's side though. I couldn't get I don't think they have this on the darts ranking.
Nishikori got a protected ranking. Buster's got a protected ranking. Suwoo Kwonsoon, Stricker.
I don't see him on there. Yeah, I don't think Raonic is on there.
No, let's look at the withdrawals a sec. So you've got Rafael Nadal and Yuri Lehechka. That's about it. But talking about Nadal, let's end on this then, because there has been a Nadal playing, and it is Juan. Juan, is it? Juan or Joan? I don't know how you say it.
Juan or something.
Juan, probably. Juan Nadal.
Yeah.
And it is Rafael Nadal's cousin in action. He's 20 years old. You're all thinking, well, he must be really good. Well, he's not. He's not that good yet. He's only 20, like I said. He lost 6-1, 6-2 the other day. Has he won any matches, Ben?
I mean, it's bleak reading. I went through it earlier on. And I thought, God, maybe he's just he's going to follow in the footsteps.
Yeah, he lost to Maleka as well, 6-2, 6-2. Lost to Kramcha, 6-1, 6-1. He beat Fenty.
I mean,
not
he's
the makeup brand.
900 in something in the world.
Yeah, I think he's struggling at the moment. He's not quite there, but
I mean,
he's got. Surely have a good coat. I mean, he does lose a lot very easily, doesn't he?
I mean, if I was Rafa...
He lost to Nick Chappell. Let's see the Nick Chappell score. No, not the chaps.
If I'm Rafa...
That was in 2021, though, a long time ago.
I'm asking him to change the surname if I'm Rafa, if I'm honest. I'm going to say, can you go under a different name? Because you're giving me a bad image. But yeah, hopefully it improves for him. Maybe Rafa, once he's retired, will go and jump in his box and then... give him a few tips, maybe. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think he's definitely got to improve. But let's end on Gene's question. He's saying, thoughts on many top players skipping the Olympics. Do you think it's taking incentive away from the event? I think you don't get paid, do you, to go to the Olympics?
No, I don't think so.
And there's no ATP points at stake or WTA points. Not everyone, and you can only you can use it, I think, for like a mandatory event or something. So you can either use your ranking for certain events.
Weird. For me,
I don't know all of the rules, but I know you can pick and choose between them. And Sabalenka's opted to not do it. Raducanu's not done it. I think it's a little poor. I think it's a little bit poor, some of the players' attitudes, but I do understand it. On the other hand,
I'm not that bothered if they're withdrawing from the event or if they're choosing not to play it. I think that it's a good opportunity at the Olympics, like with football as well, for like younger players to give them an opportunity to play for their country. I get why Djokovic and all those other people, they want to have the gold medal as part of the trophy cabinet, but there's part of me just likes to see the Olympics sort of being a separate thing to the rest of tennis.
Well, should the Olympics be like under 24s only or something? A bit like it is in the football.
Under 21s, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, just make it like maybe the next gen style.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'd find it more exciting to watch because you'd see some real like new players coming through then.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
But I don't know. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. And I think we should probably wrap this one up. It's been fun. Back on the live podcast and on a Saturday night in the UK. Ready for some final action coming up tomorrow. And we'll bring out a countdown episode probably once all of the tournaments have wrapped up too.
So effortless, isn't it, Ben? Not even a single mistake. Safe to say we are tennis podcast naturals, but we knew that already. Thanks, everyone, for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you very soon. Ciao, ciao.